هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة أما بعد أيها الأحبة الكرام السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praise to Allah, Alhamdulillah, that provided me this opportunity and نكون مع هذه الوجوه المباركة blessed places. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He gathers us here, inshallah, أن يجمعنا في الفردوس الأعلى. Originally, the lectures is about fasting and some issues related to ZAKAH. Lakin, let's inshallah first start by issues which is also very important. And then after that, we'll talk about how to prepare, inshallah, for the month of Ramadan and what should be our plans during this great month. طيب بالنسبة لطلب العلم الشرعي seeking the knowledge of Islam, when it comes to the basics, it's mandatory upon every single male or female. And the last part I just mentioned from the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, that وَشَرَّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ. So, as I keep saying, we have to do the right things and we have to do it the right way. And there is no way for us to do it the right way unless we learn the proper way of performing our acts of worship. So it's a must for us to learn the basics for the deen, males or females. And of course there's a difference between the validity of the act and whether the act will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. Okay. We are responsible to do a valid act. We do it the proper way. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy, inshallah, we ask Him to accept our deeds. But we are required to do it the right way. And as I said, we have to learn how to perform our acts of worship properly. طيب. What would be the proper way to seek the knowledge for Islam? يعني يقول أحد العلماء قال إن من نعمة الله على الفتى والأعجمي إذا تمسك أن يوفق لصاحب سلوك. That one of the great favors upon a young man who starts learning and becoming committed to Islam, or a new Muslim, to be guided to someone who is from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Because if you notice some people who came to Islam and they were invited to Islam by certain groups, they will be following their methodology. Like if it's a bid'ah group, like for example Sufis, definitely that person, we will be learning Sufism and he will be walking a path which is not the straight path for Islam. So a great favor for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to find someone who is from Ahl Sunnah. So each one of us must be keen, when he is seeking knowledge, to get knowledge for the people who are from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, especially at the beginning of a talab, in the day of a talab. Later on, inshallah, when you are found it very well, then even you can read the books of Al-Bid'ah. Because now you have the immunity and you know the principles and the basics. Okay? And I'll give you an example. A tafsir like Al-Kashaf. You know what Al-Kashaf? It's by ZAKAH. ZAKAH is one of the Mu'tazila. Okay? It's a deviated sect. لكن هذا الكتاب فيه فوائد من جهة اللغة. يعني linguistically there are a lot of benefit that you can gain and get from that book. But within, the lines, he's injecting his bid'ah. So if you don't know, if you are not founded in Manhaj al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you will be easily affected by him. Because the way he interprets the ayat and expresses it linguistically, it's amazing. Okay. So yes, at the beginning, we must, get pure knowledge. Okay. Until you are well founded, then after that, you can learn, even you can read, non-Muslim literature. in order, for example, to respond or to argue with them. So this is one thing. But before that, first we need to have the intention in our hearts. Okay? That, we are doing this only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Because doing it like that, with that right intention, you will be the first one to be benefited from that knowledge. Okay? So what's the point if you are benefiting others and you're not benefiting yourself? Yourself is first. And you will be the first one who will be benefited from seeking the knowledge for Islam. Of course, then you spread the knowledge to your family members, your spouse, your children, your, people in the community, Muslims at large. It's a must for us, to teach people their deen. But let's see what would be the first thing that we should learn among all those areas of knowledge. The first thing we should learn about our aqidah, because this is the basic. So we learn about aqidah al-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah. This is the first thing. Okay? Like, just suggested books, and I prefer, starting, at a preliminary level, you need to read the books of Sheikh al-Islam, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. This is very important at the beginning. Because we came from countries where, subhanAllah, there is shirk practiced every day. In the masjids, if you go to any Sufi's masjid, you're going to see things which is, subhanAllah, maybe those who are born here, they did not exposed to this before. But just go and visit the masjid, like Masjid al-Hussein in Egypt, and you will see people making tawaf around the grave, which is an act of shirk. So the first thing, we have to learn the pure aqidah al-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah. Okay, starting with the books and the writings of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, because mostly it's, it's focusing on this area of worship, the tawheed of al-ibadah. Most of those violations is this tawheed. The early bid'ahs in aqidah were not about tawheed al-ibadah. The Mu'tazila, they don't have a problem with tawheed al-ibadah. They have a problem with asma Allah and sifati. Okay? Also the Ash'ariyah, the early Ash'aris. Okay? But nowadays, the main problem that we are facing back home in our countries is this, shirk that practiced almost everywhere in the Muslim world. So the majority of Muslims back home in the Muslim world, they are practicing, they do not follow the right aqidah, the right way. Okay? Then after that, to read among the contemporary scholars, one of the greatest scholars of our time, Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen. And there are many other scholars, but what's unique about al-Uthaymeen, if you read any of his books, you find it very easy to understand, very logical, and all the time, whenever he discusses an issue, he brings the evidences, which is very important, to know the mas'ala, but also to know the evidence. Besides, mention you the different opinions, the different opinions of the different madhabs, and then he weighs the opinions and will show you why this opinion is a stronger opinion. Alhamdulillah, he interpreted many of the works of Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. He has sharh for many works of Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Like, for example, Sharh al-Aqidah al-Wasatiyah. Alhamdulillah, they have it translated in a very nice way in English. Okay. So it's about 2 volumes. Very detailed, very detailed. Mainly al-Aqidah al-Wasatiyah deals with mainly about al-Asma wa Sifat. Okay? But at the beginning of it, Sheikh al-Islam Taymiyyah, in few paragraphs, he talked about the different types of tawheed. So Sheikh al-Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, he elaborated more on those types. And then after that, he explained the rest of the book. It's one of the best books in al-Aqidah, especially with the sharh of Sheikh Muhammad bin Saleh al-Uthaymeen. So each one of us, he must have a plan. Because in our situation here, it's not like someone who's living back in Saudi Arabia or in Egypt, in Alexandria, Egypt, or where he can go and study with the Sheikh the whole book. It would be very hard and difficult here. Okay? But we should try, alhamdulillah, at least for the works of Sheikh al-Uthaymeen, we have it all recorded. For example, Sharh al-Aqidah al-Wasitiyah, you have it, you go just to his website and you can find all the series from the beginning to the end. This time in Arabic. In English, they have, as I said, they have the book translated into English. It's a very nice translation. I have a copy, inshallah. If anyone interested to borrow it, inshallah, I can give it to him. Okay. And also there are other works of Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah which is a little harder than this, like al-Aqidah al-Muliyah. There is a good explanation and sharh for that Aqidah by Sheikh al-Uthaymeen, which is also it's very nice sharh for it. Right. So on and so forth. Now, for the other areas of Islamic knowledge, we have also for the other areas of Islamic knowledge, you have the Aqidah, you have the Fiqh and its principles. Al-Fiqh wa usul. You have Al-Aqidah, Al-Fiqh wa usul, Al-Hadith wa ulum, Hadith and its sciences, كذلك القرآن وعلوم. And we have Al-Lughah, which is also, so those are the basic 5 areas of Islamic knowledge. الآن اللغة, because in order to understand Quran and Sunnah, we need to understand the language itself. So from this, in هذا الباب, we said اللغة, learning the Arabic language, is very important, it's very crucial. And we should not depend all our life, on the translation. We should try hardly to learn the Arabic language. Alhamdulillah, we have examples of not hundreds, but maybe 10 to 100,000 of people. And we have many people, from here, they went, for example, to study in Medina, 2 years, mashallah. They are able to learn, reading from, instead of reading the translation of Al-Aqidah al-Wasitiyah, they can read the book right away. So it is doable and you can do it. But you need, to exert effort. First, we need to, if we feel the importance of learning the Arabic language, this would be a good motivation for us. Okay. So those are the 5 basic areas of Islamic knowledge. For example, for the fiqh and its usul. For a student of knowledge, at the beginning, he needs to read or learn fiqh according to one madhab. Otherwise, he will be distracted. And there is a difference between studying and practicing. When I say you study, for example, say you choose to study madhab al-Imam Malik, or Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Okay? So it would be better to read all the chapters of fiqh from the beginning to the end, according to one madhab. Okay? Of course, the proper way is to do that with a sheikh. But it's not possible, right? Let's take an example of ZAKAH al-Mustaqim, one of the best method. This is an example. Okay. Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah has a very detailed sharh for this book, for this matter. Very detailed. And his students were able, to put it into books, like 18 volumes. Okay? So what's cool about it is first, يعني في الأول هو يحرر المذهب. Okay, he comes to the statement of the author of the matter, which represents the Hanbali's opinion. Okay? And then he explained it in a very detailed manner. And then after that, he would bring in other scholars' opinions. And then he weighed the different opinions, and then he would say this opinion is a stronger opinion. So I have a proposal here for the brothers, inshallah. I have those 15 volumes. Okay? If you are willing to sit down by yourselves, okay, and try to read from that book. Okay, I will give you the first volume. So you go the chapters through the chapters of that volume. The first volume is about the Tahara. The first, the second, and the third. The first is about the Tahara. The second, third, and the fourth is about the different issues of the Salah. Okay? It is very easy to understand. And if you come across any difficulties, any issues, I will be more than happy anytime, even during your study, that if you call me, we can have like a conference call and try to go over that difficulty. Okay. So inshallah, I will give the first volume to Brother Ahmed Hassan, and probably if you want to start something like this, it will be after Ramadan. Because in Ramadan we have to focus in Quran and Salatul Layl. But inshallah after Ramadan, you can arrange a program by yourself, like once a week, twice a week, to Maghrib and Isha, you sit together, and one of you read the matan and then the explanation of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, and then you could translate it to English to help and the rest of the brothers, inshallah. Or you can just listen to the audio. Also, they have all the audio available at the Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen's website. All the audio for the sharh of this method. This is just an example. Of course, you can take a book like Mukhtasar al-Quduri, which is in the Hanafi madhab, or any book in the Shafi'i or the Hanbali or the Maliki madhab. But as I said, you need guidance, especially if you are not familiar with that madhab. But the point here is to try to learn fiqh through one madhab first. This is like the first preliminary level. Okay. Now while you are learning, now we pray 5 times a day. Do I have to follow that madhab, that my prayer? No. For the issues of the Salah and Tahara, most likely, like using a book like Sifat Salat al-Nabi, okay? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by Sheikh Al-Albani. Well, there's also another book by Sheikh al-Dayfi, which is also very good about the Sifah, the description of the Salah of the Prophet. They have 120 pages. Okay, it's one of the greatest scholars of Hadith in Saudi Arabia. This book also is very beneficial. Okay, so for your, prayer on Tahara, you don't follow that only madhab. Okay, you follow what you found out to be the right way to perform the Salah al Tahara, either by yourself if you are able to do so, or by asking those who know. Allah says, but I'm saying you have to study the whole matan from the beginning to the end. So you will cover almost the majority of the masail of the fiqh. Okay? But for your practice, when you pray, when you perform tahara, or anything that happened to you, then at that moment you need to know what is the opinion of that madhab you are studying. Is stronger opinion or not? Okay? Say I'm studying the book of Al-Janazah, for example, and I get your voices in the masjid. Like one time, we're praying, and they brought two janazas, a male and a female. So that we will get into dispute. How should we, of course you do one salah for both of them, but how do you arrange all this? Do you have any idea?
What's the question, Sheikh?
Question, in a masjid, we had janaza for two people, a male and a female. Okay, a man and a woman. And we'll, of course, we will perform one salah for both of them. But how do you arrange all this?
You put the man first and then you put the man closer to the
Closer, and
woman.
then just put them like parallel to each other?
No. سمعت شيء بس نسيت. Maybe the woman halfway up the man or something.
Why? But you know, the male should be closer to you, and then the woman, right? But you said, you know, you shift the body of the male to the left.
Yes.
Because in Salah, Janazah, if he's a male, you should stand close to the head or to the chest. For women, to the head, and for women, you move a little towards the middle or just close to the chest. Okay? So by moving that, so you will study, for example, the Hanbali method. And this is not the right opinion according to them. But you knew that the opinion, the Shafi'i is the right opinion. At that moment, then you can learn that. But that's my point, in order to comprehend the majority of the masail of the fiqh, you need to go through all the masail in one method. Otherwise, you'll be distracted. And you will notice that you see those people who all the time say, we are going to study, comparative fiqh. Okay? They might comprehend the issues of Salah and Tahara. But if you ask me a question related to business transactions or zakah or anything like that, he might not have the answer. Okay? But if you ask someone who studied the fiqh from A to Z, according to our method, at least he would have an opinion of one of those great scholars. Okay? But going comparative from the beginning, it will be very hard. And you might be distracted. First, go finish one method. And then the second level, you can, inshallah, go comparative. And the same thing applies, for. But here I want to show the importance of studying the Arabic language. Not only how to read and write, also the rules of the grammatical rule of the Arabic language is very important. It's very important in order to understand the Quran and the Sunnah, the Prophet. We need to learn the Arabic language. The source is the Quran and the Sunnah, right? But the methods to understand the Quran and the Sunnah, because Quran and the Sunnah are words, sentences, and letters, right? So you need to know about the rules of interpretation in the Arabic language. We need to know about the grammatical rules. We need to know about the balagha. And inshallah is doable. And as I said, there are many people. Arabic is not their mother tongue, and they master the language. I just go and read the biography of the early scholars who are not originally Arabs. But they are scholars in tafsir and in hadith, and because they realize the importance of learning the language, and they did learn it and they excel in it. Wallahu ta'ala, this is just like an introduction before starting our talk. Do you have a question related to what we have mentioned? And of course, starting learning at early age, like when you are young, is very, very important and very helpful. You were talking about just some points, some plans that we should have about seeking the knowledge. And I propose to the brother, learning fiqh by studying Kitab Zad al-Mustaqbal. It's a very good book in the Hanbali method. I'm not telling you to become a Hanbali, no. Because it has a great sharh. It's called a sharh al-Mumti'. They have it audio and also they have it in a book. I have the book, 15 volumes. So inshallah, I will give you the first volume, which is about the tahara. If you can form like halaqah weekly, okay, and I can, if you want me to join, I can join you by phone. Or you can just go ahead and try to study yourself. If you come across any difficulty, just give me time. I will be ready, waiting for any question, for any explanation, inshallah. At least just let's do it this way, and inshallah, it will be very beneficial. As I said, Sheikh first he explained the position of Al-Matin, the one who wrote the matter, which represents the Hanbali's opinion. Then he will bring in the opinion of the rest of the scholars and to give you an idea about, especially when it comes to the Tahara and the Salah, at least, you would either agree with him, okay, follow his opinion, or follow the opinion of the rest of the scholars based on the evidence of Allah Ta'ala.
And some people, they say that you can learn from the people of innovation and take the right and leave the bad, and the right things and leave the bad things.
This is problematic, and especially for a young beginner, because he cannot distinguish between which is bid'ah and which is sunnah. Okay? عشان كده قلت لك على هذا القول قال إن من نعمة الله على الفتى إذا young man. والأعجمية is the one who just introduced Islam. أن يوفق لصاحب السنة. At the beginning, no. Okay, because you need to get the pure knowledge. Until you are well founded, then after that, Alhamdulillah, شكرا لك خيرا. يعني the writings of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is the majority. And if you check the books that's available now, in every area of knowledge, in hadith, in aqeedah, and kida, you find the majority of the books is written by scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So the writings of Sheikh Hassan ibn Taymiyyah is everywhere, right? And most of his works, most of it is translated into other languages.
تعيد السؤال عشان الناس يفهموا.
السؤال هنا أيوه. سؤال أيوب بيقول إنه can you get knowledge from someone who is known to be a follower of bid'ah? Right? But I said no at the beginning, no, because you won't be able to distinguish about what is right and what's wrong. He might teach you something and it's a bid'ah. So unless you immune yourself first by having the proper knowledge and the proper foundation, this is not the right way. Allah Ta'ala. Fasting, right? And what else? Praying. Praying Tarawih. And else? Reading Quran. يعني Quran and Ramadan. Quran, Ramadan, they attach to شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Ramadan was not mentioned once, right? In the Quran. Okay. In the ayah, and it was mentioned with Quran. So Quran is very important in Ramadan. Of course, fasting is the most important act that we do in Ramadan. But having said so, to have a successful Ramadan, we need to know about the rules of fasting, and I'm sure you all know about those rules. It's not like Salah. Salah, you have many masail, many issues. Sometimes it will be very complicated. You might be asked a question, it will be very hard for you to give an answer right away. But for the fasting, the rules are very, very clear. Inshallah, I'll just quickly go through. But it's very important for us to know the rules in order to do the fasting the proper way. Let's start first by a good definition for Ramadan, for Siyam, fasting. What's fasting? If I ask you to define fasting, literally, I'm talking. To stay away from something? Huh? Which is imsak. In Arabic it's called an imsak, a Siyam and an imsak. from anything? Can I fast from talking? Huh? Do you have any proof for that? Huh? They are using the word fasting for what do you call it? To mean not to talk. If someone wants to refrain from talking, can you call this fasting? طيب والدليل على ذلك؟ ماذا قالت مريم؟ قالت إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. So she's not going to talk to anyone, and she called this fasting. فمطلق الإمساك هو الصيام. صوم is to abstain from anything. لكن as a technical term used by the jurist, what's meant by fasting? Is الإمساك عن إيش؟ عن المفطرات. طيب if I did not eat or drink, because the doctor told me, you need to have blood test. هذا إمساك. I did not eat and I did not drink. فأنا صمت عن المفطرات، لكن هل هذا هو الصوم الشرعي؟ طيب ما هو الصوم الشرعي؟ والإمساك
عن المفطرات
بنية. الإمساك بنية. هو إمساك بنية عن المفطرات. Okay? Is it good definition or is it good?
من طلوع الفجر
الصادق
إلى
غروب الشمس. That's a good definition or we need to add more. وقال الإمساك إمساك بنية عن المفطرات من طلوع الفجر الصادق إلى غروب الشمس. He said to refrain from مفطرات. Okay? With intention. From true dawn until the sun sets. Is it good definition or we need to refine it? If there is anything to add? It's good definition, right? طيب ما هي المفطرات؟ ما المفطرات؟ ما مقصود بالمفطرات؟
الأكل والشرب والجماع.
الأكل والشرب والجماع. المفطرات, the acts that will break from fasting. Said eating, drinking, sexual intercourse. Right? 3. So only 3. طيب أول حاجة ما الدليل على هذه الثلاثة؟ هذه الثلاثة مذكورة في القرآن. Only those 3 things were mentioned in the Quran. ولا تباشرون وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد. لا الآية من لا الآية وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين
بينكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد.
طيب ممتاز. هنا ده الأكل والشرب. فين الجماع؟ اقرأ الآية من الأول. ريد الآية متفقين.
أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم.
Now Allah says it's permissible for you during the night of Ramadan to have sexual relation with your wives. Okay? هذا موضوع. هذا اسمه موضوع. طيب ريد.
أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا.
فالآن باشروهن. Okay? During the night of Ramadan. Okay? وكلوا during the night. واشربوا. Okay?
حتى يتبين لكم الخيط.
Until when? You are permitted to eat, drink and have relations with your wife. Until when? Until the true dawn. Okay? And then?
حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر وأتموا الصيام إلى الليل.
Okay, so now once dawn is in, then you cannot eat, you cannot drink, you cannot have sexual relations with your wife. Okay? So those 3 were mentioned in the Quran. But there are other mufatirat. There are other things that we should refrain from doing during the days of Ramadan. We should refrain from doing them from dawn until sunset. What are the others?
ولا يرفض
Huh?
ولا يرفض ولا يجهل.
طيب الرفث مقصود به الجماع. Okay.
Eating and drinking.
Eating and drinking also mentioned that. So eating, drinking, and having sexual relations with one's wife, this is mentioned in the Quran.
يدع قول الزور والعمل به فلا حاجة.
أتكلم عن المفطرات. هذه تنقص من أجل الصيام. It decreases the reward, but it won't break one's fast. If someone backbited, a Muslim backbited another Muslim, he committed a major sin, right? But is he required to make up that day? After we are talking about al-mufattirat, the thing, the act, huh? الحجامة was mentioned in hadith أفطر الحاجم والمحجوم, لكن هذا الحديث فيه كلام, and this is the opinion of the Hanbalis, that hijama will break one's fast, but for the majority of scholars it won't break the fast. Now, if we adopted the opinion of the Hanbalis, you cannot donate blood during the days of Ramadan using qiyas. So according to them, you cannot donate blood during the days of Ramadan. You can wait until sunset, or if it's needed now, then you should break your fast. If it's urgent and you have to do it during the day, then you need. Lakin it's a controversial issue, and I think the stronger opinion of the opinion of the majority of scholars. لذلك قالوا تكره. It is highly disliked because it weakens the body for that reason. But the evidence is not that strong to support the Hanbali's opinion.
Masturbating.
Which means ejaculation, even without sexual intercourse. Okay? Like what else?
Vomiting.
Huh?
Intentionally vomiting.
Or intentionally vomiting. If someone calls himself to vomit by saying something or sticking his finger into his mouth or anything, if he does so intentionally, it will nullify his fasting. Yes?
What about intending to eat, but you didn't eat?
If someone intended to eat, but he did not eat, it will break his fast, right? Or not? يعني واحد, he intended to eat. He went to the kitchen, he opened the fridge, he finds nothing to eat, then he closed it, he said, okay, I'm fasting, I'm continuing my fast. Once his fast is over. So what broke his fast here? النية. احنا قلنا حكم there are two things. استصحاب ذكر النية, to keep remembering your intention is highly recommended. But if you forget about your intention, like during the day you forget that you are fasting, okay? But you do not eat anything, okay? You are okay. You don't have to remember all the time that you are fasting. It's good to do that, okay? So استصحاب ذكر النية is recommended. لكن استصحاب حكم النية واجب. يعني you should not interrupt your intention. If you interrupt your intention, that act is over. Like in the middle of the salah, if you decided in your heart to break the salah, out of salah is over. Okay. Like we are talking about al-mufattirat, now this is because you violated a condition. Because one of the condition for every single ibadah is to have the intention. If you break or interrupt your intention, your act is invalid. So he said vomiting, okay, ejaculation,
Woman bleeding or menstruation.
menstruation. The menstruation was not mentioned in the Quran, again mentioned in the Sunnah. The hadith of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم قال للمرأة قال النساء ناقصات عقل مدين. When she was asked about نقص الدين قال إني إحداكن تمكث يعني نصف أهلها لا تصلي ولا تصوم. Okay, and other hadith like that. So menstruation will break. Is mufaddal. يعني if a woman started the day fasting and a minute before sunset, she had her menstruation, she must break that fast. She cannot continue fasting. It becomes haram for her to fast. Okay. طيب, is there any other مفطرات?
In the past.
Yes.
Nasal spray.
طيب, nasal spray. I will come to this. This is nifas, right? So nifas is just treated like hayd. So al-hayd nifas, this one. Okay, intentional vomiting, okay, and ejaculation. And you said nasal drops, right?
Yeah, I read about that today, but I'm not sure.
Right. طيب, when the scholar said eating and drinking, يقولون الأكل والشرب وما كان بمعنى الأكل والشرب. Okay, so eating or drinking like regular eating, you take something and put it into your mouth, okay, or anything that enter your body through the mouth and the nose, it will nullify one's fasting, whether it's food or not. They said if someone took a beet and he swallowed it intentionally, knowingly, it will break his fast. So anything that gets to your stomach through the mouth or the nose will nullify one's fasting. We have to stay away from it. Like, also think that is meant to feed the body, even if not taken through the mouth or the nose, like an IV. If someone given glucose or anything to feed him through an IV, through a shot, it will nullify his fasting. But if it's a medicine being injected into his body, it won't affect him, because it's not food and it was not meant to feed the body. Okay, and just the use qiyas to eating and drinking. Right. Is there any other thing that will nullify one's fasting besides what we mentioned? الأكل والشرب والجماع. طيب, الأكل والشرب وما كان في معناه. Okay, eating, drinking, or being fed through any part of his body. Yes.
ترك الصلاة.
ترك الصلاة will nullify the fasting, or intentionally, right? ترك الصلاة عمدا. هل ترك الصلاة nullify is not praying a prayer, one prayer, or not praying at all?
Before, what about the before?
Right. Inshallah, we'll come to the before, but this may answer this, or I need an answer for this question. هل ترك الصلاة يبطل الصيام? If someone did not pray,
عمدا.
عمدا, yes, he said عمدا, intentionally. If someone did not pray Salat al-Quran until the time of Asr comes, so he must make up this day later on. لا, ما يبطل, لكن من ترك الصلاة بالكلية, يعني the one who does not pray, it's not one prayer or two prayers, or skipping a prayer and prayed other prayer, هذا على خطر, this is committing a major sin. But abandoning the prayers, you don't want to nullify his fasting, nullify his Islam. Okay. العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة من تركها abandoned the prayer, not pray for years. Okay. This is not only his fasting, any deed that he does won't be accepted. لأنه من شروط قبول الأعمال الإسلام. The basic condition for accepting a deed is to come from a Muslim. Now, بالنسبة للبخور, البخور, that's inhaling the bakhur, nullify one's fasting. إذا كان عمدا, it is done intentionally, knowingly. But if you are passing by and you inhale it, it won't affect your fasting. Smoking, definitely. Smoking is even worse. لأنه شم البخور itself is halal, it's mubah, or recommended sometimes. Okay, but even though it will, if someone did it knowingly, intentionally, okay, willingly, it will break his fast. But smoking itself, whether it's in Ramadan or outside Ramadan, is haram. Okay, because Allah says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. And one of the characteristics of this Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قال وَيُحِلُّ لَهُمُ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَيُحَرِّمُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْخَبَائِثِ. It's filth. Because if you need to know how filth is it, just smell the odor of someone who is smoking. So definitely it will break one fast if someone smoked intentionally, knowingly during the days of the month of Ramadan. Yes.
يعني الذي لم يصلي إلا صلاة المغرب في يوم مثلا
هذا ما
صيامه
يقبل.
مقبول.
هذا مرتكب لكبيرة من أكبر الكبائر، لكنه لا يكفر بذلك. لو صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من تركها، ومفهوم الترك إنه هي abandoned the prayer for months. Someone for 6, 7, 8 months never prayed one prayer. Okay? This you can apply the hadith because the hadith says من تركها فقد كفر الله عليه. Some scholars they said one salah. Okay? لكن يعني في the hadith I think يعني more close, the interpretation of it is more close to the one who abandoned the prayer. وهذا قول الشيخ محمد بن صالح العثيمين رحمه الله. قال مفهوم من تركها أنها تركها بكلية. Not skipping the prayers. Some people, they pray all the prayers, all at the same time at Isha. Of course, he's committing a major sin, but can we say this act is an act of kufr? According to this opinion, no. Allah Ta'ala.
I also heard you, Sheikh, if you intentionally do not pray within the timing of a specific prayer, you can't make up that salah.
Sorry. Why? لأن الله سبحانه وتعالى يقول إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. There is a difference between someone who was sleeping or forgot. Because for him the salah, the time for the salah starts when he wakes up, for example. Even if he slept from Zuhur time and he wakes up, at Isha time. Now for him, Zuhur, Asr, Maghrib and Isha time starts now. So for that person, he must make it. But if someone is aware about the time and he did that willingly, knowingly, there is nothing preventing him from praying until that salah's time elapsed. Even if he prayed 100 times, it won't benefit him because that salah was gone. Now, فهذا ايش يتوب لله سبحانه وتعالى. He must repent to Allah سبحانه وتعالى ويكسر من فعل النوافل. لكن ما ينفع it won't benefit him to make up the prayer. The same thing for the fasting. There is a difference between someone who had the intention to fast, but during the day, because of his weak iman, he broke his fast. Now he committed a sin, he need to do what? He need to make up this day, okay? And first he must repent and make up that day. But if one from the night, he intended not to fast the whole day, it won't benefit him to make up that day, because that day was gone. What he need to do, he need to repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he should resume fasting the rest of the days. Now,
so my question is like, for example, if a person didn't pray for a long time, and if he repents, does he have to do it again or just start from the beginning?
if he does not pray for say
for 1 year.
even just say one day, intentionally, knowingly, without any excuse, he does not have to make up those because it won't benefit him. You make up the prayer that you missed because of an excuse, like sleeping or forgetfulness. If someone forgot, or he was not able to pray. Like one time, the Prophet and their companions, during Ghazwat al-Khandaq, they are digging the trench and they're expecting, the disbelievers to attack any moment. So they did not pray Zuhur and Asr until Salat al-Maghrib. And then they made them all together. They prayed Zuhur, Asr and Maghrib at the time of Maghrib. But if someone did not pray intentionally, knowingly, without any excuse, it won't benefit him. But he needs to sincerely repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, he prays a lot of nafilas and give charity, give good deeds. But the repentance, he must repent sincerely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that time. Allah ta'ala.
For Bakhur, does intentionally smelling it and breathing it in break your fast?
No, not only intentionally knowing.
How about cologne?
لا ما
What's the difference?
يعني smelling oils or عطر in general it won't affect your fast. It's not like inhaling. I'm not talking about if you're passing by and you smell it. No. But if someone has the cold and he inhales it because له جرم okay, and it goes, inside the system. It's like smoking, no, for me, it's also, if someone is cooking and intentionally, knowingly inhale or smell, the vapor, okay, and it gets into his body, it will affect his fast. But if it happened non-intentional, while he's cooking, he inhaled it, that will be okay. Because all those mufaddilat won't affect one fasting unless it's done, إذا فعلها ذاكرا يعني while he's aware about it, okay, عالما. إذا كان جاهل, if he's ignorant about the rule, it won't affect him. عاملا, meaning that he did it intentionally. ذاكرا means not out of forgetfulness. No.
How about brushing your teeth like with toothpaste? Is that okay permission?
Like, can you use brush and toothpaste to brush your teeth while you're fasting? Is it okay? Is it acceptable?
Wait, what?
طبعا using مسواك ما في مشكلة. Okay, it's okay. What about toothpaste? It's okay as long as you rinse your mouth, make sure there is nothing left behind. Also using mouthwash. If you rinse your mouth, then you. Like in بعض العلماء, they said it could be disliked because you don't know. Maybe something might be left behind and then you swallow it. Like in most likely, rinsing your mouth twice or 3 times will beat everything of that. لكن طبعا الأفضل إنك use مسواك and using the مسواك all through the day. Because if you read some of the books of it, they would say, you stop taking مسواك after the prayer of the Asr prayer. That's incorrect. Siwak is a sunnah throughout the whole day. But now,
when you say like when you miss an act, doing the act will not benefit him. Is that you saying that he shouldn't do it?
well, again,
When you say that he missed the act, like fasting or praying, he missed it, and you're saying that him doing it again or him making it up is not going to benefit him. Is that you saying that he should not do it?
this is a stronger opinion in the scholars. Like if someone, and I give the example of the salah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Someone who knowingly, intentionally, without any excuse, did not pray salat al-dhuhr until the time of dhuhr is gone. And now is the time of asr. Can he make up that prayer? Or someone who did not pray for a week or 2 weeks, now repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Should he make up those prayers? Sheikh al-Islam says there is no dalil to support making up those prayers. You cannot use analogy to the one who was sleeping or the one who did not do it out of forgetfulness. He says, there is no commonality in the two. Because that person has an excuse, but this one, he did it without any excuse. The same thing applies to fasting. I'm not talking about someone who intentionally broke his fast, no. Because this one, he already started. He had the intention from the night before, and he started the day fasting. Then he broke his fast. If he did that intention knowingly, he must make up that day. But if someone from the night, okay, did not have the intention to fast, he said, I'm not going to fast no more. Okay? But after that he repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he resumed fasting. Does he have to make up that day? The answer is no. Because that day was gone. Okay?
What about if he doesn't make the intention to fast? Because maybe he thinks that it's not going to be like the time, maybe the whole issue with the moon. But then the day comes and we find out that that's when Ramadan comes.
Okay, someone, for example, went to bed after Isha and he was not aware that tomorrow is the first day of Ramadan, right? Then he woke up in the morning time and Fajr prayer. Can he just continue fasting? Is that acceptable? He does not have the intention, the night before. But he woke up, he went to Salat al-Fajr, everyone is saying, today is the first day of Ramadan. So what should he do? Can he continue fasting? Is that day counted for him? Should he make up this day? Does he have to make it up?
Continuous.
But now, to be the safe side, because it's a controversial issue, making it up or not. if he woke up having no knowledge that this is the first day of Ramadan, and he knew after Fajr, Sheikh al-Islam says he is not required to make up this day. Just start continuing fasting from the following day. Lakin, all the scholars agreed on one thing, that he must right away stop from eating and drinking and having relation with his wife, or doing anything that would break someone's fast. Even if he will not going to be, that day will not be counted for him. Why? They said because of hurmat al-shahr, because of the sacredness of the fast. This is even if someone, another example, if someone intentionally broke his fast by intentionally eating, he cannot say, okay, I broke my fast, I can continue eating. No, he must stop right away. Yes, he has to make up that day, but he cannot continue eating the rest of the day. Okay, why? قالوا لحرمة الشهر, because of the sacredness of this month. But what if someone is coming from New York? Of course, it's a travel distance. So he started his day eating and drinking. But he arrived at 12 noon at his hometown. Can he continue eating and drinking? Or he should stop because of the hormone of the month? He can continue. He can continue eating and drinking because this is a person who had the permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to eat and drink in that day. So the sacredness of the month from that individual is lifted. Unlike the one who broke the sacredness of the month intentionally without having a permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what if a woman who had menstruation started in the morning eating and drinking, but at the middle of the day she becomes pure? Does he have to stop eating and drinking? No, the same thing is applied here. No. Is it clear? Right.
So she does have to stop?
Huh?
She does have to stop?
No, she should continue eating and drinking. The same thing like a traveler who arrives at his hometown during the day. No, he does not have to. No. That only applied for someone who intentionally broke his fasting. Okay, even if he broke his fast, he should stop right away. If he drink half of the cup, then he should stop drinking the rest of that cup.
So the hadith of إنما الأعمال بالنيات, and so there's also a hadith of like Prophet ﷺ, he used to wake up and if there was no food he would fast. So what is the
But إنما الأعمال بالنيات, meaning that deeds are judged by their intentions. Okay, if someone was refraining from eating and drinking, but it's not in his mind that he's doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or as an act of fasting. He's doing it because he needs to have a blood test. Even if he refrained from all those things from dawn until sunset, it's not counted. Okay? Because the intention is very important. Okay, now for the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is only applied for general nafil fasting. For example, you don't have any intention to fast tomorrow. You woke up in the morning time, you don't eat anything, you went to Salat al-Fajr, you came back after Fajr, try to find something to eat, you didn't find anything. Then you said, okay, inshallah I'm going to fast. That will be acceptable. But here, you will get the reward of the fast from that moment until sunset. So if it's happening at 10 o'clock a.m., he had the intention, but before 10 a.m. he did not eat anything since Fajr prayer. Okay? So the reward of the fasting will be from the 10 a.m. until the sunset. Okay? Now, if someone was not aware that tomorrow is the day of Arafah, he woke up in the morning time and aware about that, but he did not eat anything. Like 8 o'clock, he knew, today is the day of Arafah. And he continued fasting. Now, he will receive the reward of fasting from 8 o'clock until sunset. But the reward of Arafah will not be applied. Because any sunnah fasting that is specific, like fast, it has a specific reward, like fasting the day of Arafah, or the 6 days of Shawwal, for example. Or no, this is the day of the Ashura, the 9th and the 10th and the 11th of Muharram. Okay, it needs a niyyah from the day before. But he will be rewarded for his fasting from that moment until sunset. Is it clear? No. No.
Also, it's not fasting, but like the one who walks by the gatherings of knowledge, he can have the intention, like the Hadith Qudsi, I think, the one who walks by.
Okay.
Even the one who just walks,
no, he just join
the gatherings of knowledge and the angels.
He was sitting. He came for like business or something something material or worldly. Okay, but he found them sitting in that gathering and he joined them. Okay, he would be rewarded by joining them, and this is out of the mercy and rahmatullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Humul qawmu la yashqa jalisuhum." Because someone who attends a circle of knowledge, he would come with some benefit. He would learn something. Okay? And subhanAllah, this is an encouragement for people, to seek the knowledge and, to have, like our masjids, having already busy with circles of knowledge. Allah Ta'ala. Yeah.
If a female, she realizes she started fasting the day in Ramadan, then towards the end of the day, or like 5 minutes before iftar, she realizes that her cycle began.
Her period began. She has to break her fast right away. Even it's 1 minute. It's haram for her to continue fasting. She has to grab a cup of water or eat something, that she must break her fast. She cannot continue fasting. She cannot say it's only 1 minute left. No. Once she has menstruation, خلاص. And of course, she must make the days later on. Not the prayer, but again, fasting has to be. But now the issue of calculation. We talked about this briefly yesterday. Some people, they raise some shubuhat. Okay, they would say, okay, why everyone agrees that in Salah we can go by calculations? Why not we apply the same thing for the fasting? What would be the proper response? Is this a valid argument? And no one of the contemporary scholars said we cannot go by the calendar. Okay. All of them agreed we can follow the calendar to determine the beginning of the Salah. Like, why not we use the same thing, using a calendar for determining the beginning of the lunar month?
Prophet specifically said sumu li ru'yati. And he commanded to start fasting when you see the moon. And he commands you to stop fasting when you see it as well.
What about the Salah?
Did he give a specific commandment? Allah.
لأن الأصل في الصلاة هو العلم بدخول الوقت. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس. Okay? إذا دلكت الشمس صلي صلاة الظهر. Okay? صلى الله عليه وسلم قال وصلاة المغرب، يعني صلاة المغرب قال إذا وجبت الشمس. When the sun disappeared, when the disk of the sun disappeared, خلاص. Don't worry about the brightness that you see. If you cannot see the disk, this is the Maghrib time. Okay? So you can do Maghrib right at that time. Okay, so for the timing of the Salah, what's required is to know that the time of the Salah is in. So this knowledge, either by seeing or by any means, if you can determine that this is the Maghrib time, then you should do that. This is why no one argued or dispute the fact that we can go by calendars for the Salah. لكن بالنسبة for the fasting, قال إذا رأيتموه فصوموا. If you see it, if you see the crescent, the hilal, then you start fasting. And seeing means with your eyes. Some people say no, seeing could come in Quran to mean knowing. Like أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين أرأيت يعني أعلم أو جاءك خبر الذي يكذب بالدين. So how do you respond to this argument? Because the word رأى في رأى العلمية. رأيت الله أكبر كل شيء. رأيت الله أكبر كل شيء. معنى إيش؟ يعني علمت أن الله أكبر من كل شيء. Okay. So why we should not interpret رأى here as know? That if you know, meaning that the birth of the hilal or the hilal is on the horizon, even without seeing it, then you can fast.
وجاء في آخر الحديث فإذا غمي عليكم.
أيوة. فإذا أو in another version قال فإذا حال بينكم وبينه السحاب. If you cannot see it because it's cloudy, so it means here رأى means see. Also رأى العلمية تنصب مفعولين. رأيت أنا الله أكبر. Okay. In Arabic language, the verb could have one object or two objects. Okay. So ra'a, which means see. Sometimes it has two objects, sometimes it has one object. If it has one object, هنا ra'a معناها to physically see something. Like if it has two objects, it comes to mean alima, to know. Okay. So this is one of the shubhat. Okay, that if you use calendars for the salah, why not you have calendars for fasting? And we know how to respond to this. Okay. طيب الشيخ جعفر دكتور جعفر الشيخ الرئيس نسأل الله أن يشفيه ويعافيه. He give an example. He says, طيب, what time is Maghrib? For today, say Maghrib is 8 o'clock, right? So when we pray 8 o'clock, when you look to the eastern horizon, you see the sun disappearing at 8 o'clock, right? But in fact, in reality, sun is already set 8 minutes ago, right? Because the distance between the sun and the earth is about 98 million miles. So it takes the light 6 or 8 minutes to reach us from the sun. So when you see the sun disappearing, the sun is already disappeared 8 minutes ago. So what you are seeing is history. Okay, when you see the sun rising up, okay, it's already rising 8 minutes ago. Yeah, if sunrise, say, is 6:20, in reality, the sun already rises 8 minutes ago. Yeah, 6:12. So if someone prayed when it's 6:12, did he pray on time or not? He prayed on time. Because what matters here, not what happened exactly, is according to what we see. So when we see the sun rises, then we should stop, praying, because no prayer at that time. But in fact, sun is already, the rays 8 minutes before that. Okay? So the same thing applies here. We are not required to know exactly, whether the moon could be, yes, over the horizon, but you cannot see it. Okay? So we should not consider the following day the first day of Ramadan. Okay? Unless even if, by calculation, we know for sure that, the moon should be there. But because of the cloud, we are not able to fast, to see it. Can we fast the following day? The answer is no. Because the Prophet ﷺ says, it does not give us another alternative. He says, it's either you see it, or if you don't see it because of clouds, then قال فأكملوا عدة شعبان 30 يوما. Then we have to complete Shaban as 30 days. So the other option for us is to consider the next day is the 30th of Shaban. And then we make fasting the following day after that. Allah Ta'ala. But anyhow, today is the 23rd, right, of Shaban. So most likely Ramadan might be next Sunday or Monday, right? Next Sunday could be either the 30th of Shaban or the first day of Ramadan. Now, if the moon is sighted on the night of the 30th, which is next Saturday after Friday, if if we see the moon, or it comes to our knowledge that the moon is seen, okay, anywhere in the Muslim world, then the following day, which is Sunday, will be the first day of Ramadan. Otherwise, we will wait and fast we will fast Monday, which is the 5th or the 6th of May, not because of the calculation, because we did not see the moon. The moon was not seen on the night of the 30th, for that reason. Okay. So if the moon is seen, then everyone has to fast on Sunday. If someone did not fast on Sunday, because the calculation said no, Ramadan starts on Monday, is he sinning or not? He's committing a major sin. Okay? Unless if he's ignorant. And most likely he is. But he's committing a major sin. Why? Because today is the first day of Ramadan. And you have to fast this day. Unless you have an excuse, unless you are traveling or you are ill or sick. So we have to educate, our communities about this fact. It's not an easy matter. It's very important. Allah Ta'ala. Do you have any other questions?
What about seeing the moon? Is it local or anywhere in the Muslim?
But we have two valid opinions. Okay, the first opinion that if the moon is seen anywhere in the Muslim world, and the news get to you, then you have to fast. And most likely, if it's seen anywhere like in Africa or Middle East, most likely will receive the news here even before Maghrib. Like last year, if you remember, it was not seen in the Middle East, Africa. I think in Africa and West Africa, but it was seen here in America, right? I remember we waited until 11:30, until sunset in California. But at the end we get the news that tomorrow is the first day of Ramadan. So if you get the news, then you have to fast the following day. If you are tired, you can go to bed with the intention that if tomorrow is the first day of Ramadan, I will be fasting. So pray Isha, go to bed. The morning time, if you get the news that yes, moon was sighted in California, then you continue fasting, let it go. Allah Ta'ala.
Sheikh, some people say that you have to see with your bare eyes. You cannot use any equipment, any tools.
You can use but what about glasses? Can I use my glasses? If I can use my glasses, I can use binoculars. It's a way to see. It's not like calculation. هنا الخلاف يسير. هنا it's very close. Even if there is disagreement, it could be easily resolved. It's not like saying no. We don't have to see it at all. If by calculations, moon is there, even no one see it, then we fast the following day. Otherwise, use it. This is improper. No. And we should not be deceived by that. The majority of people, they are following calculations. As long as you are sure that you are following the right path, don't worry about the numbers. All the time, when total أكثر من في الأرض يضلوك عن سبيل الله. So we don't go by the numbers. So unfortunately, the masses now they start following the calculations. Unless we work hard to educate people, we should never stop telling people that calculation is important. I see some organizations now they start saying, if this will cause, will this unite the community, things like that, we should. Someone he said this attributed to Amja in an email, but I don't think that is their position. Their position is still they go by sighting. If it's not sighted anywhere in the Muslim world, they will wait here until 11:30, 12 o'clock to make sure that it's not sighted anywhere in America or South America. One of my advice to myself and everyone just to go by there. And also the brothers at Dar es Salaam, they will arrange moon sighting the night before the night of the fairs, and also they will inform us inshallah about Allah Ta'ala. Any more questions? This is about ZAKAH. Zakah is one of the pillars of Islam, just like fasting and prayers. And some people, they connect the Zakah to Ramadan. Some people, they delay the Zakah and pay in Ramadan. Is that act acceptable? Like if my Zakah is due on Sha'ban, can I delay it and pay it on Ramadan? Some people, they do like this. This is improper. But if my Zakah is due in Shawwal, but I want to wait in advance of Ramadan, that will be highly recommended for two reasons. You will do, because paying the Zakah in advance is recommended, and paying it during the month of Ramadan is an extra reward. So if your Zakah is due after Ramadan, but you want to pay it in advance, that will be great. But if it's due before Ramadan, you have to pay it when it's due. Don't delay it, to the month of, because once the time of the Zakat comes, that amount of money is not yours anymore. That belongs to the poor, and you don't have any authority on their wealth. If it's due today, which is the 23rd of Sha'ban, don't say only 1 week left from Ramadan. No, 27th of Sha'ban, pay it right now. Okay. But if it's due after Ramadan, you can pay it in advance, which would be highly recommended. Paying it in advance and doing the month of Ramadan.
When you do pay it in advance, when is the next time it's going to be due? When you pay it in Ramadan, or when the next that it was due?
For example, if my Zakah due in the first day of Shawwal, usually every year, okay? But now I decided to pay it on the first day of Ramadan. That would be great. Okay, but next year, if I don't want to pay it in Ramadan, can I pay it on the first day of Shawwal? Yes. Because your hawl, the year, lapses on the first day of Shawwal. Again, you are recommended to pay it in advance, especially if there is a need. Now, if there is a need for Zakah in the month of Sha'ban, and my Zakah is due in the month of Shawwal, is it better for me to pay it in Ramadan or pay it in Sha'ban? Now there is a need for paying people, in the month of Sha'ban. Still 2 months before my due date, my Zakah due date, okay? Is it better to pay it now in Sha'ban or going to pay it in Ramadan to get the benefit of paying Zakah in Ramadan? Or Sha'ban better? Sha'ban better. Why? Because of the need. And we have a rule, قاعدة تقول أن الفضل المتعلق بذات العبادة أولى بالمراعاة من الفضل المتعلق بزمان العبادة أو بمكان العبادة. If there is a virtue related to an act of worship, it's related to the act itself, it has priority of any other virtue that related to the timing or to the place. Okay. Now, the virtue of giving the Zakah to the people who are in need, dire need, now, is related to the very Zakah itself. But paying it in Ramadan is a virtue related to the timing. So the virtue that related to the act itself has priority over the virtue that related to the time or the place of performance of that ibadah. Like for example, khushu' is a virtue related to the salah itself. Okay? Praying in the first line is a virtue related to the place. Now, if you are in the first line, but you lose your khushu' because you are squeezed, okay, it will be better for you to pray in the last line with khushu' than praying in the first line without khushu'. Why? Because khushu' is related to the salah itself. While praying in the first line is a virtue, but it's related to the place of the salah. Now,
how about that person who saves money every month? How can he pay zakat?
Let's inshallah define zakat. Zakat is a fixed proportion that need to be paid from specific types of funds. Okay? When that specific type of funds reach a specific amount, this is called nisab. Okay? In a specific time, because subhanallah, Allah gave us everything. Okay? And He asked us to pay just small portion. Not every day, not every week, not every month, not every 3 months, not every 6 months, once a year. And not to pay all our bills, not half of it, not even 1/4, not even 1/10. It's 1/10 of 1/4. 1/10 of 1/4. Okay, only that small portion, and you pay yearly, not every day. Okay? And not from any type of wealth. Yeah, if you have 5 cars, okay, but for your personal use and your family use, you don't pay zakah. If you have 3, 4 homes for personal use, not for investment, there is no zakah in it. Okay, only specific types of wealth. And that specific type of wealth, if you have $250 in the bank, sitting there for years, you don't have to pay zakah until it reaches a specific amount. Okay, and once it reaches that specific amount, you are not required to pay zakah right away. You have a year after that. Okay, so does this answer your question? You don't pay zakah on the money you have now, unless you have it in your possession for a whole lunar year, and unless it reaches a specific amount, which is called nisab.
How about it's over the nisab, like from the first month that you started saving? Like for example, you save $3,000 every month.
Okay.
And at the end of the year, it's going to be about 36,000.
Okay.
How do you pay zakah for this?
Do I have any answer for this question?
Can you repeat the question?
The question, someone saving $3,000 every month. Yeah, say the first day of Shawwal of 1439, he has $3,000 in his account. The following month, he added 3. The following month, 3. Now the first day of Shawwal, or the first day of Sha'ban, he has about $36,000 sitting in his account. Right, when he wants to pay the zakah, is 36,000 more than the nisab or less than the nisab? So what is the nisab? What if he has? If he has $500 sitting in his bank account for a whole year?
The time starts whenever he hits nisab.
He has $500. Does he have to pay zakah or not?
Didn't reach the nisab.
What is the nisab?
3,000.
We need to,
85 grams of gold.
How much is 85 grams of gold?
About
Multiply 85 by at least $40. This is almost about $3,500. So I'm saying that if anyone who has less than $3,500, he does not have to pay zakah. Okay? Or should we go with the nisab of silver? But if you go with the nisab of gold, the nisab will be $3,500. If you go with the nisab of silver, the nisab of silver is 595 grams. And a gram of silver is about 50 or 60 cents. So I say it's 50 cents. So multiply 50 times 595. It's about $300. Now if you go with the nisab of silver, anyone who has $300 or more sitting for a year, he must pay zakah. If we go by the nisab of gold, anyone who has $3,500 or more for a year, he has to pay zakah. Right? So which nisab should we go with? This is a real conversation that's taking place among contemporary scholars. Okay? Some of them they said you go with gold, some others you go with silver. طيب الأحوط إيش؟
Silver.
They said we should look into the zakah. Okay? Zakah is related to what? What is the purpose of zakah? Is to remove the yes, but also to remove poverty from Muslim community. So which of the two nisabs will more fulfill this purpose? If we said the minimum is $3,500, we'll have fewer people paying zakah. But if we say $300, we'll have many people paying zakah, right? And this is why the stronger opinion of the contemporary scholars that the nisab of fidda is the nisab of currency. If you have the worth of 595 grams of silver, and you have it in your possession for a whole year, then you have to pay zakah on that. And as I said, it's average like $300 to $350. You can check it, you can check it and see what today's price of silver. We say it's 60 cents. Usually it's like this. It's all the time less than $1. Say it's $1. So if you have $595 in your possession for a whole year, then you have to pay zakah. And this seems to be the stronger opinion among the opinions of the contemporary scholars of Allah.
What if you don't recall exactly when you passed the slab? Like, how can you calculate the year if you don't remember when you passed the minimum?
Right. This is very close to his question. His question, he says he started with $3,000 and he keep adding. At the end of the year, he will have $36,000, right? Like, how he will pay his zakah? Now it's 1 year. 1 year lapsed from the first day you have the $300. But now you have $36,000.
300 or 3,000? 3,000 or 3,000?
No, 3,000. It started with 3,000, right? And you keep adding 3,000 there.
So you pay 33,000.
36,000?
Because that's how much you had for a year.
Because you subtracted 3,000?
Yeah, because if you start with 3,000, you end with 36. That's how much you have for a year.
You have only 3,000. So you're saying?
No, 33,000. You have to pay. Allahu Alam, but you have to pay zakat on 33,000.
Look, they started, say, the first day of Shawwal, he was 3,000.
No.
Okay, the first day of Dhul Qaidah, he has 6,000.
You had 3,000 the whole year.
6,000.
No.
It's going to start from
36,000.
If it's gold, it's going to start from the Qa'dah. If it's silver, it's
No. We agree to go with the sum of silver. So 3,000 is more than $350, right? So it's over the sum. But if today is the first day of Shawwal, only the 3,000 you have it in your possession for a year. So you pay the zakah for the 3,000. But next month, which is Dhul Qaidah, okay, which is Dhul Qaidah, you will pay zakah for the other 3,000. So we keep paying zakah every month for the 3,000. If you want to do it this way, but you have to keep records. Right? And do calculation. And Lakin, if you want to do it the easiest way, just look how much you have and pay 2.5% out of the 36,000. Now, you'll be paying more, definitely. Okay? But, and this is the opinion of the Hanafi. The Hanafi said you look at the beginning of the whole. Do you have more than the nisab? If the answer is yes, okay, don't worry about in between. At the end of the whole, if what you have is more than the nisab, then you pay the zakah for what you have at the end. The $36,000. Okay, you'll be paying more, right? But you are dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, Allah will bless you and you will be rewarded more. If you want to do it this way, it will be very easy. You don't have to do any calculation or bookkeeping or recording or just see how much you have at the end of the year. You know that your zakah is due on the first day of Shawwal. First day of Shawwal, check your bank statement, what you have in home. Okay, add it all together, pay 2.5%. This would be easy. Otherwise, you have to track it. I have a good 3, then I use 4,000, then I add 3,000. It would be like, if you want to do it that way, you still have that option. Yes.
What about the farm or business money or others?
طيب, I will answer this question. Your question is related to what we are talking about? Or?
It's kind of, yeah.
Okay.
What about if someone has the money and security deposit or debt?
Pension plan.
Or debt?
Debt? Like someone borrowed money from you?
Or security deposit?
طيب, if it's a debt, like a brother, say I borrowed from you $2,000 to give it back to you in 2 years, okay? You trust me, and I'm a guy known to be paying off his debts, okay? So you don't have any problem, you think most likely will give you your money back in 2 years. Now here you have one of two options. You have to pay the zakah for that, but you have two options. The first option, you don't pay the zakah until you receive the money back from me, but you pay the zakah of 2 years. Okay? So the first year, your zakah is 2.5% out of $2,000 is $50. The second year is $50, right? So when you receive the money back from me, you pay $50, $100 in zakah. The second option is, for example, after 1 year passed since I took the money, you pay the 2.5% is $50 from your money, from your other money. Okay? You pay it, and then next year also you pay it. So you have those two options. So if someone borrowed money from you, it's subject to zakah, as long as you most likely think the money will get back to you. Okay? If this person is a kind of a person that usually does not pay off his debts, or he was now bankrupt, he's bankrupt now. Okay? Now, if that is the case, you are not required to pay zakah. But say after 5-6 years, he gives you the money. The scholar said, no, if he gives you the money, you keep it with you. If you use it, no zakah. If you keep it for another year, then you pay zakah of 1 year only. Now, for pension plans, or like an IRA account, or any money that is saved for you, but you do not have full access to it. Like if you have a 401k account, you have now $10,000 in your account. Is it subject to zakah or not? It is subject to zakah because it's your money. But it's just similar to the debt. You don't have to pay it now. But for example, now when 1 year passed, you see how much you have in your account, say $10,000. The zakah for $10,000 is $250. If you want, you can pay it now. If not, you can just record it down. 1440 my zakah is 250. 1441 is $300. When you have full access to that money, when you withdraw it, then you have to pay all that amount. Or you can do it year by year. Some other scholars they said no, you don't pay zakah on the full amount. If you have $10,000 now, because you do not have full access to that 10,000. If you prematurely withdraw it now, there is penalties and taxes will be applied. It's up to 40%. They said you deduct 40%. 40% out of the $10,000, what remains is $600. So only $600 is subject to zakah. Is it clear? Okay. Does taking a shower interrupt from fasting? Any answer? It won't affect the fasting. It will not affect fasting. Can you take shower or is this light? You can take shower. Now if you have an air-conditioned room and a room without air conditioning, is it better to spend most of the time in the air-conditioned room or in the other room? Huh? If you spend it in the air-conditioned room, does this affect your fast? Does it reduce the reward? No. If taking shower will cool you down and help you, take a shower. There is no problem. Do I make the intention every day? You know, Ramadan is a continuous ibadah. The stronger opinion of the scholars that one intention in the first night is enough. Unless you interrupted your fasting, like if someone got sick and he broke fast for a day or two, a woman had her menstruation, then when he or she resumes fasting again, he needs to have the intention. But one intention from the beginning of the month is enough for the rest of the month. What is the best sahur? Biryani. I think he means the timing. The timing of sahur is a sunnah, even if you are full. Okay, sahur is a sunnah. Okay, and the best time for sahur is to delay it very close to time of Fajr prayer. Say Fajr gets in at 5 o'clock. Okay, so if you are sure that Fajr gets in 5, then if you can delay your sahur to say 4:40 or 4:50, that would be the best. Okay, because the akhir sahur is a sunnah. Delaying it close to Fajr time is the best. Now, yes.
وأن تأكل وتشرب حتى أذان الفجر.
ها؟
وأن تأكل وتشرب يعني حتى أذان الفجر.
حتى يتبين لك الخيط الأبيض. يعني once, not an adhan. Sometimes the adhan is called like 5 minutes after the time. Okay, but if you know that Fajr gets in 5 o'clock, you eat and drink until 4:59 and 59 seconds. طيب.
Question about that.
تفضل.
سامع إنه التمر is من السنة حتى في
ايش with the best support. طبعا التمر هو for iftar it's better to use رطب. رطب is the fresh ripe dates. If you cannot find it, then you can use tamr. If you do not have tamr, you can use just drink water. Okay. بالنسبة للسحور يعني some people do السحور ما شاء الله like a big meal. يعني السحور is recommended even if you are full. Just wake up, even take one piece of date or just drink a sip of water to get the barakah of the sahur. But also, you know, we should not fill our stomach, neither in sahur nor in iftar. SubhanAllah, some people, they eat to the extent that they are not able to praise the Tarawih or do anything after Lahu. First of all, this is not the purpose of Ramadan. Because one of the purpose of Ramadan that you need to feel, the pain, that felt by other people, poor people in our community. Okay? Not to spend, in fact, some people's budgets, during the month of Ramadan is fatter than regular months. They spend more money for food in Ramadan more than any other month of the year. Okay? This is, again, the purpose of the month. Yes, you eat, you drink, but we should not exceed the limits. Like, is it better to continue memorization, okay, in Ramadan or to complete the recitation of the whole Quran? Very good question. What do you think about it? Now, if someone wants to memorize like a page a day, so by the end of the month he would be memorizing like juzu and a half or 2 juzu. Is it better for him to memorize or to recite? Of course, if he can combine, that would be great. Like reciting a juzu and memorizing a page. Okay? But if he can do one of them, what would be better for him? To memorize or to read?
Memorize.
It's not a requirement to complete the whole Quran. If you have the option to complete half of the Quran with understanding the meaning, it's better than completing the whole Quran without understanding the meaning. And the Quran, yes, recitation of the Quran, reciting the Quran is word of it. But reciting it, understanding it, to implement it in our life is more important. So if you can read only one page a day, but you understand and read the tafsir of that page, it's better than finishing the Quran a couple of times without understanding the meanings. Okay, so it's like a balance. Of course, if you do everything, like you read Quran, I told the brother yesterday, if you start the first 10 days, after every salah, you read 2 pages and read the meaning of those 2 pages. Okay? The second 10 days, make it 3 pages after each salah. For the first 10 days, you will be reciting 100 pages. The second 10 days, you recite 3 pages a day. A total of how much? How many? No. You do 2, then the following 10 days you do 4 pages. After each salah, with understanding the meaning. So those are 200 pages. And the last 10 nights, when we do more effort, then read 6 pages after each salah with the meaning. This is another 300 pages, so you complete the whole Quran. So Quran is about 602 pages, right? So you divide it throughout the day. You start with first 2 pages after each salah, then 4 pages, then 6 pages with the meaning. You will get them more benefit. More than just reading Quran without understanding the meanings of Allah. Is it better to pay zakah in the last 10 nights? Any answer? It depends. It depends. If your zakah is due in the first day of Ramadan, you have to pay it in the first day of Ramadan. You cannot delay it to the last 10 nights of Ramadan. But if it's due in the day of Eid, yes, you can pay it in advance during the last 10 nights and to be more rewardable. But how should I manage my sleep with having to go to college and work, and also pray at night. This will be almost an issue for everyone of us, because no one will take, leave during the months of Ramadan. Most of the people, they go to colleges, they work, and the Sahaba, they don't stop working during the days of Ramadan. It's an issue of time management. Okay, pray the Tarawih, go right away and sleep, and then wake up for Fajr, of course, to do Fajr on time. It's only 1 month. I know, we will be doing extra effort. We don't lose some of our comfort, but the reward is great, and it's only 1 month, and the rest of the 11 months we don't have, to go through this. But doing it for the sake of Allah, inshallah, and all the time thinking about the reward, it will make it easy, inshallah. Should I wear niqab in Ramadan to get the reward if I don't wear it now, or I don't normally wear it? She's her question that should she wear it in Ramadan, and then after Ramadan she takes it out or she keep it. I would say, if you want to wear it now, even before Ramadan. Because first of all, we don't know whether we're going to be alive, Ramadan comes. So if you want to do something good, do it now. Don't delay it. Whether it's wearing niqab or doing anything. If someone wants to do sadaqah, as I said, if it's zakah, you have to do it now. If it's a regular sadaqah, give it now, because you don't know. Okay, so wear niqab now, inshallah, and continue wearing it. If a woman menstruates right before iftar, does that fast count? No. Does she make it up? Yes. Yes, even if it has menstruation a minute before the adhan, that day for her is over, and she has to make up that day of Ramadan.
Does the woman have to pay zakat on her mahar?
Mahar?
Yeah, or like shabka?
طيب, zakah is due in any wealth. We said it's a specific type of wealth, right? It's called al-amwal and namiya. Any growing wealth. What's the growing wealth? The growing wealth is the wealth that physically grow. Like, for example, if you have cattle, it keeps multiplying, right? If you have sheep, goats, right? Or if you are a farmer, you have crops, it's grow, right? This is called physical growth. Or if it's liable to grow, if it's exploiting in trade, like if you have money, cash money, or gold or silver. So any wealth of that type is subject to zakah. This includes cash money, gold, silver, and of course agricultural produce like crops and wheat and things like that. Also cattle, livestock. Okay? So those are the type of products that is subject to the zakah. So anyone who has, wealth which is one of those types, and he has it in his possession, with that specific time, he has to give to the zakah of that wealth. Allah Ta'ala.
They have to pay zakat out of greed. They spend enough money to go below the minimum for their own personal gain. Would they be in a state of sin for doing this?
He is sinning and still has to pay zakat. So we should treat him against his intention. If he did that, if we knew that he did it intentionally to avoid paying zakat, he would be forced to pay the zakat. Okay? But also he committed a sin. Because this is here, this is tricking whom? And we don't deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like this. He is primarily giving him the wealth. And he asked him to pay وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُ, just a small part, small portion. And then some people they do such tricks, but يُعَامَلْ بِنَقِيدِ قَصْدِهِ. He will be treated just opposite his intention, that he will be paying zakah even in talks below the nisab of Allah Ta'ala. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت. سؤال؟
How about paying zakat in different country? Sending.
طيب الأصل يعني for زكاة المال is where is your wealth. If your wealth is here, then zakat should be paid for the Muslim poor in here. If it's back home, then you pay for the Muslim poor at your home. Opposite is for sadaqat al-fitr. Zakat al-fitr is where you are, even if your wealth back home, but you are here, then you are supposed to pay for the poor of the people of this community here. If there is no poor people in the community, then you can transfer it to another community. Or if you have a relative who is poor for zakat al-mal, even if he's not here, then you can send the money to him back home. Because your zakat and sadaqah to a poor relative is better than paying it to a stranger who is poor. So if you have one of your relatives, but that relative should not be a one whom you are responsible to cover his expenses. You cannot give it to your son, for example, or your wife, or your father. Okay? But if you have like a distant uncle or a distant aunt or a distant relative who is not among the people whom you are required to cover the expenses, it would be better to give it to them than give it to a stranger if they are poor. So you can send it, yes, if that is the case. Now, Allah Ta'ala.
Sheikh, may Allah bless you. There was a famous Sheikh that recently he was advising people, he was telling people that Taraweeh is Sunnah. He was saying Ramadan is coming soon and know that Taraweeh is Sunnah. And it might be better for you to just, after you pray Isha, just sleep well so that you can perform well at work and don't kill yourself in this praying Taraweeh until 11, 12 and then having to impact your sleep and your health.
طبعا يعني you cannot give a general fatwa like that. Okay? For example, if he prayed Taraweeh, it becomes difficult for him to wake up for Salat al-Fajr. We tell him, okay, don't pray Taraweeh because Fajr is the first and Taraweeh is the second. Okay? Now, if he prayed Taraweeh, now if he cannot pray the entire Taraweeh, which is better, it's better all the time to pray the entire Taraweeh with the Imam. Okay? If he cannot pray the entire Taraweeh, tell him pray as whatever he can pray, like 2 rak'at, 4 rak'at. If he cannot pray at the masjid, let him pray at home. Pray Isha, make sure that you pray Isha at the masjid, then go home and pray Taraweeh at home. Okay? I mean, there is many ways for us, to manage our time, so we be praying Taraweeh, and at the same time we wake up early in the morning, we do Fajr prayer in the masjid and go to our work. And remember, yes, the night is short, but the day is long. So you can compensate by having like a qaylula, when you come from work around 5 o'clock, you have from 5 to 8, about 3 hours. Okay, so we should try, to rearrange our activities. Even our schedule, most of us, they have flexible schedules. You can start as early after Fajr, you can start 9:30 or until 10:30. If you can, try all the time to get the benefit of this month, because it's only 1 month, and we don't know whether we're going to return the next year to have another Ramadan or not. And I think most of the time, if we manage it, if we plan it very well, we won't have a problem. Yes, you go to bed around 12:30, but you can compensate. During the day you can have like an hour or two. Sleeping during Qaylula. That's Allah Ta'ala.
About paying zakat to multiple people.
Yeah,
Instead of paying it to just one person, you pay it like to multiple people.
What asl is zakat? If you have someone has a deficit, $200 every month, he's a poor. Every month, what he makes, his basic expenses, there is a deficit of $200, which is about $1,200 a year. It's better to give him $1,200 to cover the deficit for the whole year, if it's possible. Okay, but if you have multiple people, everyone has a need. For example, this one is need as twice as the need of this person. You can use ratios, okay? You give him twice what you give this. يعني you divide your zakat, this $1,200 divided by 3, which is 400. So you give this one 400 and this one 800 because his need is more than. You know, you can manage it. But you need the proper way, if we all collectively collect our zakat, and I'm sure, you know, we should look to the poor in our community who have deficit like paying rent every month. And we pay each one of them to cover the deficit for the whole year. And we will be able to do that. Because I know Muslims, mashallah, they have very good education, they have very good jobs, and they make good money. Okay? But we need like an organization, which is not part of any masjid. You know, one of the great mistakes is to have the zakah being distributed by the masjid. Most of the time, the masjid, they use the zakah money for the masjid. You know, building parking and things, which is not, masjid is not one of the recipients of the zakah. So it must be an independent organization. Okay? To hire people, you know, who manage collection and distribution of the zakah, Allah, I believe we will not have any one of the Muslims in this community, in our community, having any problem with rent or with, even, you know, we can help people who cannot afford to put their kids in Islamic schools by paying them from the zakah, because this is one of the basic needs. Pay them from the zakah to put their kids in Islamic schools. It's easy to be done if you are organized. Okay? An organization does not belong to any masjid. Okay? To collect the money from people and distribute it. And hiring people, because those who work for the zakah, for the collection and bookkeeping and distribution, they will be given their salaries from the zakah itself. Okay? It should be very professional. You give an account to work for the zakah fund like an account to work to exchange work. Okay? And still will be able to pay them and pay the poor and eliminate the need, you know, in our community, inshallah.
Two things. One, for the woman, how can you tell if, how much is considered use of their gold, silver, their jewelry things that they don't pay from, it's their personal use and they don't pay zakah?
Any gold or silver, any jewelry of gold or silver.
Okay.
If it's gold and 85 grams and up, she must pay the zakah yearly. She must pay the zakah.
Used or not?
Yeah, it's use it or even lend it to other women, you know, to use them, bring it back. You know, if she owns it, if she's the owner, and it's 85 grams or more, she has to pay the zakah every year. She can either, for example, if she has like 100 grams of gold, so the zakah will be 2.5 grams. She can pick up an earring, you know, a small piece, which is 2.5 grams, and give it as zakah, or she can give it money. So 2.5 times 40, you know, 1 gram is 40. It's about $100. Okay? She can give $100 as zakah. Yeah. But it is subject to zakah. This is the opinion of Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, and it is favored by Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, many of the great scholars of our time. Yes.
And if you're giving gifts of any kind, anyone? Giving gifts. This is also, and let's say you don't use the gift for a long time. More than a year, you realize it's in your closet.
Halas, you pay zakah. If you have it for 2 years, pay zakah. If it was an nisab or more, yeah. Even for 10 years, you pay for the 10 years. It's like, for example, someone gave you $1,000, put it aside, and then you remember after 2 years. You pay zakah for the 2 years from that money. Allah Ta'ala.
So you can't give zakat to your family if they depend on you, if you're obligated to.
There are two conditions. If you want to give zakat to a relative, okay, he should not be among those whom you are responsible to cover their basic needs, like your wife, your children, your father, and your mother. Okay? Now, this is the first condition. Second condition, that he should not be a person. If he died, you will inherit him. Okay, I will give you an example. Can someone give his zakah to his brother? Can you think about any situation where I can give my zakat to my brother? No. لا أتكلم سوداني if he is poor. خلينا الغالي. الغالي you know غالي if someone is in debt, even your wife, if she borrowed money from her friend and she was not able to pay, or if you have a son who has student loan, you can pay his loan from your zakah. There is no problem. Because you don't pay him because he's poor, you pay him because he's rally, he's indulged in debt. Okay? Your wife, your son, any one of your relatives, regardless if he is in debt, you can give him from your zakah and pay it towards his debt. Okay? إذا كان عامل عليه he work like an accountant to the zakah. But my question, if you have a relative who is poor, all the time it's better to give your zakat to the poor relative than give it to a stranger. Okay? But who among your relatives deserve or entitled to get zakat? So my question, can you give it to your brother if he's poor? It depends. Now, if your father is alive, you are not entitled to inherit that brother. Okay? So if he is poor and you are not entitled to inherit him, then you can give him your zakat. If you have a brother who is married and he has boys and girls, if he passes away, you are not entitled to inherit him. If he is poor, you can give him your zakat. In other words, any relative whom you are entitled to inherit, you cannot give him your zakat. Like your wife, all the time you're going to inherit your wife. Your father, you're going to inherit your father all the time. Your mother, you're going to inherit her any time. Okay, so you cannot give her your zakat. You are responsible to cover her nafaqah.
So to follow, so if you're paying relatives like on a weekly basis or something, there's no problem with
just deducted from zakat.
But yeah, just increasing like for zakat, there's no problem there.
If he's poor and you're not entitled to inherit him, you can give him you are not required to give him nafaqah. Okay, but you can give him from your zakat instead of giving it to someone who is a stranger.
And the last thing is, and they're not a Muslim, is that
No. The non-Muslims are given from zakah only if the intention is to, if he's inclined to Islam and you think by giving him money, this might encourage him to become a Muslim. This quote al-mu'allaf qulubuhum. If you have a neighbor whom you think that, by being good to him and giving him money, this might attract him to Islam, you can give him from the zakah. This is one of the recipients of the zakah. Allah says, وَالْمُؤَلَّفَ قُلُوبُهُمْ. Or if someone is evil, and we think by giving him money, we'll protect the Muslim community from his evil, we can give him from the zakah to protect the Muslim community. والله تعالى سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك وصلي اللهم وسلم وبارك على محمد.